a while loop in Kotlin is very easy to create. So we'll say while x is less than 10, we want to perform some type of operation. So here we'll say print line x, and then what we need to do is increment the x value. So it continues to increment upwards as we are progressing through the loop. And if we run this, what we'll see is while x is less than 10, we perform some operation. Now, a while loop is very useful where you need to do something while a particular condition is met. And so this could be maybe you need to be running something in a loop the entire time and only do it when maybe perhaps a certain button is pressed that needs to exit out. Now, for example, if I forget to set this x variable here and increment it, and I run this, watch the terminal window. I'm going to stop this pretty quickly, but there we go, I'm going to stop it now. But this is a very long scroll of zeros. I mean, I'm scrolling a lot and it's barely moving. If I had let that run, most likely the IDE would have had a out of memory exception or stack overflow exception, because it's continuing to print line over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and this loop is never going to stop. This is basically an infinite loop at this point because there is no termination that's being provided by it. And when we increment this x value, we're actually incrementing the x, and eventually this expression will end up being false. And so as soon as it hits false, the loop will exit, and then the next line of code will run. So say print line. So we see this all done. If we run this now, we'll see all done is printed afterwards. And if we just let this go for 100 or whatever, then it could be a problem. Now, a lot of times, folks will actually run these while loops in various different programs in the back end and in client applications while they're waiting for a file to process, while they're waiting for something to happen. Perhaps they put a sleep command in here for the thread to sleep. And again, there's pros and cons of all this. I'm not telling you and advocating to use sleep inside of your code. That's usually a code smell. However, you'll want to understand when is a good time to use a while loop. A lot of games, stuff like that, use a lot of while loops to keep things running in a game loop. So while loops, you'll need to make sure that everything is going to run inside of the while loop, between these two brackets, everything is going to run while this expression is true. And so this could equate to be some type of value, and perhaps this root loop runs until a user presses a particular button. Maybe it's drawing something on the screen and you're determining where to render things. A while loop is a perfect opportunity to do that. I need something to happen over and over and over until an exact particular condition has been met. That's when you're going to want to use a while loop. And that's what you can do. This can be this could be a method call inside of here if you want it to be. This could be a fung is okay to, or like keep going, which can return a Boolean. And at this point, you could have some code in here that says return true or false. True or false. In this point, we're just supposed to say true for whatever reason. And you could actually just call this right here. So keep going, while keep going, blah, blah, blah. And this method in here could be going out and checking file system, checking an API, waiting for an input, or checking an input, or interrupts of some form to say, hey, should I continue to go, and so forth. So that's when you're going to want to use a while loop in Kotlin and how to use it.